This video is going to show you how to use Pivot with a video that you have uploaded. One thing, when you upload a video, you will select your video from your camera roll here, and then if you record it in just standard video mode, it'll be 30 frames per second as the recorded frame rate. If you did high speed or slow-mo, it'll be 120 frames per second. There may be some newer iPads that can do 240. So you may want to double check with your teacher if you aren't sure. You will never change the playback frame rate. After you've uploaded the video, on the iPad you'll want to hit this button down here. This will make it full screen. It'll be easier to see. Play your video once, make sure you can see everything and it's what you want. What we need to do is we need to measure position and time. Time is going to be pretty easy. It's with a stopwatch. I can move forward by dragging a slider, or I can go frame by frame by frame, and you'll see this advances one frame here every time I hit it. I can also reset the stopwatch this way. So now this is my 0 time. I'm just starting my stopwatch now, and then I'm going forward. If I go before that, it's actually negative time. And I can even get multiple stopwatches if I want, and I can get rid of them with this little X. That's how we're going to do time. We got to do position, though. And position you got to be very careful with, because making a small error can make a big difference in your data. We need specific positions along this track. You've probably noticed there's a meter stick at the bottom here. Trying to estimate here would be horrible for multiple reasons. We are going to use a digital meter stick that Pivot is going to generate for us. However, this meter stick is not working right now, and we need to tell Pivot how long a meter is in our video, or any length. So for instance, I can do these tracks, I believe, are 1.2 meters long. And so I'm going to tell Pivot, hey, from this distance to this distance. Oh, let me show you the tool I'm using there. The tools collapse out of here. This is my calibration tool. So you'll see when I click that, that kind of appears and disappears. So this calibration tool, once you set it for a video, you're done. You don't have to use it anymore. And you'll notice a calibration distance right down here. So if I know that distance is 1.2 meters, the meter stick here just popped up the digital one and it appeared. Apparently it's not 1.2 meters. I'm guessing wrong. So if we go and measure this in the lab, and then we could put in the actual distance. So what I'm going to do though is I know that this distance from the very end here to the very end here is 1 meter. So I am going to use my calibration tool. Again, that calibration tool is this one right here. And I am going to go from here to here, and I've entered in 1 meter. I could also do the same thing and go from here to here, and I would change this to half a meter, 0.5. And I'm going to get the same result. You'll see that the digital meter stick lines up with the one on the screen, or fairly close. You want to do long distances whenever you can do a long distance. So if I can do 1 full meter this way, that's better than doing a short distance. There you go. See how that you're going to get a little bit more better results that way. So the other thing to notice is if I change my calibration tool, the meter stick, the digital meter stick, changes in size as well. So where you put this is super, super important. If you're sloppy, you're like, yeah, that's close enough, or like here, or just here, it's going to be wrong. So you want to do a 2-finger pinch and zoom in and get this as perfect as you can. Then you can put away the calibration tool, and you can use this meter stick, the digital meter stick. If you want to make it smaller, you can make it smaller, fatter, and you can rotate it. And you can set up, okay, I'm going to say the front of the cart right there is going to be my 0 point. I can reset my stopwatch, and then I can hit play, or you can go frame by frame here, and I could say, oh, okay, this is 0.1, 0.5 meters. If you're like, oh, I want to do this in centimeters, let's see what happens here. 100 centimeters. maybe it's a little easier for you to read. So this is 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters. That works as well. If you need more meters thick, you just make it longer. Oops. You don't want to move it afterwards because where you put the 0 is really important. But we can make it longer. We can have several meter sticks, or maybe we can just have one in this one. We can have a two-dimensional meter stick. There's even, you can measure the angle. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with this. When this, you only have to do the calibration if you uploaded your own video. There may be one in here with, I don't know where it is. Makeup Lab, one component. Here we go. So this one here is a pre-made pivot video. There's no calibration tool because they calibrated the meter stick for you. So if this is a video that Pivot recorded, you don't have to do the calibration. This meter stick is automatically correct. But if it's a video that you upload, that you record, you have to tell Pivot how long is 1 meter. And make sure to be really careful on that because if this little bar is off by a little bit, it's going to make all your data is going to be off as well, which you want to avoid. All right, I hope this helps.